Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the SITS Tools Demo Days. My name's David Maguire. I am Event Director of SITS. Thank you for joining today's session with ALVAO. Before I pass over to the team there, I just wanted to run through a couple of points to ensure you get the most out of your time with us today. Firstly, don't worry if you miss anything at all. The session will be available to download from our website by the end of the week. And also, we actively encourage you to ask questions. So in the toolbar, you'll see the Q&A button. Put your questions in there, and then Daniel and David will pick those up at the end of the session. So I think that's everything from me. I'll pass over to David. Have a good session, and I will see you at the end.
Thanks, David, for the introduction. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us at today's Demo Days webinar. And of course, huge thanks to SITS for giving us this opportunity yet again. I'm David, and I'll be guiding you throughout today's session. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask during the webinar. As David said, the Q&A section will be held at the end. So, who actually are we? Well, in essence, we are a M365-centric ITSM and IT asset management vendor from Central Europe. Some of you might have actually met us at various events across the UK. Most notably, that would be the Service and IT Support Show in London for the past few years. But if you've never heard about us, that's fine. We've been on the market for 25 years, and although relatively new in the UK, we've already have quite a few interesting testimonials. So let's talk about the importance of ITSM. Well, a modern ITSM platform needs to prioritize the end user experience. With the rise of remote work, this has become more critical than ever. And actually 53% of employees feel that their service desk does not adequately support the remote work experience. So that's actually what we are trying to change and decrease the number. Next up, ITSM faces significant challenges in small and medium-sized businesses. Those include a poor employee experience, getting the most out of AI, and doing more with less, essentially. Moreover, managing IT assets becomes an additional hassle, creating more complexity for the businesses. And to overcome these issues, SMBs need ITSM and IT asset management solution that is mature, easy to implement, and scalable to ensure a better employee experience and operational efficiency. Here you can see just some of the main integrations from the M365 ecosystem that ALVAO integrates with. And the most popular of them would be Power BI, Teams, Intune, and Power Automate, among others. And here's an extremely important moment for our team. We've actually been highlighted during the last Microsoft Ignite conference by the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella himself. So it's actually great to get some recognition in this space. Also, I should mention that our software has two parts, one service desk, the other asset management. They can be used separately, but they work on a single and unified platform. And without further ado, let me introduce you to the man who will show you the actual solution in detail, Daniel, who is a solution consultant here at ALVAO. So the floor is yours, Daniel.
Thank you, David, very much for the introduction. Welcome everyone to the webinar, and let's dive to it. So first of all, how it will look like today. So at the beginning, we are going to focus on the communication channels with the main focus on ALVAO for Teams. And then we will continue with AI Assistant, ticket queues and dashboard, and how the AI Assistant can actually help you with those tickets, incidents, what have you. Then we are going to dive into the asset management, talk about object properties, the asset lifecycle, and so on. And we will connect on that with the joiners process. And we will finish up today's session with a bit of administration and reporting. So let's actually start with ALVAO for Teams. Now, nowadays, typically everyone in the company uses Teams as the main communication channel. and IT team need to be where the users are. So they are trying to be. But even though they are constantly getting interrupted via Teams, they still need to log all the information to the service desk portal, and that's where our ALVAO bot can actually help you. So let me show you that. Okay. So here we are, currently signed as an end user, Veronica, and she can just type help, for the common options. You can now search through relevant services to submit new requests, knowledge articles, own asset, and so on. You can also type a specific keyword, and it will give you more relevant answers to it. This actually simulates the self-service portal. So these are the same icons, same tiles that can be configured in administration, and you will actually see it again in the self-service portal in the application. So here, if you have some kind of a problem, whether it's I don't know, change request, problem, incident, you will just find the relevant service and submit that new ticket. In this example, Veronica is requesting for her VPN. And when the ticket is created, she will receive a notification. Now, there are different ways how you can get notification. You can get notification either via Teams or via email, and it depends on your preference and on the settings. Now, same goes for the agents. So they will also receive a notification either via Teams or email. They can use this nice ticket list view, to see specific tickets, if it's unsigned or I don't know, your own tickets. It depends on the filter, and you can do some specific actions on that specific ticket. Now let's go back to that submitted ticket. I can easily open a detail here, and I see that Veronica, she hasn't provided the necessary information, right? So the reason why she needs the VPN. So from here, I see that she is actually online. I can click on her and start a communication chat straight from here. What ALVAO does, it keeps the context of the application of the ticket right here, and you see the nice style with the basic details. Now, when she provides these informations, right, I can easily just log it and save it to that already existing ticket. Now, as you know, when chatting with your users, there is always some by the way. Like in this example, the printer in the office is not working. In ALVAO, you can easily create the ticket for them and potentially resolve it right away. You select the service, right? And if that was some specific, it was some minor issue that you've already dealt in the Teams communication, but you still need to log the ticket to that service desk portal so you can resolve it immediately. When the ticket is submitted, you can easily send it to the end user, and you can also, select your coworker and send it to him. Please take a look at this particular ticket. Okay, perfect. So that was our Teams integration. Now let's swing back to the presentation, and let's talk about Copilot. So ALVAO is Copilot ready, and we are actually, one of the certified Copilot extensions. And what does it mean to be Copilot ready solution in practice? So being Copilot ready means that ALVAO can serve, as one of the many data sources you can use, like to query using the advanced language models, behind the Azure OpenAI services. Now, this integration ensures that Copilot provides you with more specific and precise answers. For instance, when you ask, what should I do today? Copilot won't just consider your emails or calendar or, I don't know, Teams communication. It will also take into account the tickets in ALVAO that you are responsible for and are due today.
Thank you, Daniel. And since you are talking about data, let me take a moment and say something about via which channels it's possible to raise a ticket in ALVAO. So there are actually multiple ways, as you can see, not only Teams. We have a similar integration to Outlook through which you can raise a ticket. But for a lot of people, the most convenient is to use the actual self-service portal, which you will see shortly. But that's actually the beauty of the variety of channels. Everybody can use what they like, what they prefer. But other than that, you can also use the mobile app, which is designed for solvers, and it actually helps them get their work done easier and faster. And the actual web application itself is fully responsive, so you can interact with it completely naturally via your mobile phone. Additionally, you can also use Power Automate and REST API to connect to various third-party applications, such as Zabbix. And actually, through these integrations, a ticket is then created and raised in ALVAO. That would be it for the channels. So now then, could you show us the self-service portal in practice?
Yes, of course. Let me pop it up here. All right. So hopefully you see the application. This is, guys, this is the self-service portal. I can in general, search for specific keywords and it will give me the relevant news, knowledges, my tickets and new specific new services. Then of course this service portal, it's a single sign-on, right? So users log to application with their Entra ID account, and you don't need any other confirmation. Now, what we can see here, those are the tiles, right? We've already seen that in Teams. So this is configurable from the administration. And then we have these 4 sections. So news, we can actually see that whenever a new is created, you can see it right here at the top. And until the user reads it, it will stay here. Other section, my tickets, knowledge, articles, and my assets. Now let's focus on the assets. We can see that Veronica, the user I am currently signed in, she has a car, mobile phone, computer, SIM card for that particular mobile phone. When I select the mobile phone, I can see the relevant properties I am able to see. Now, if I would be agent and I'm managing assets, I would see much more wider spread of information that I am available to see for that particular device. But Veronica, she's permitted to only a few. For example, if we take in account the SIM card, right? She could have the SIM card right here, and the property PIN code could be set up, right? So whenever she forgets the PIN code, she can actually look to the application and find the code right here. Now, what if I have a problem, right, with that specific device? Well, with the integration between asset management and service desk, I can easily report an issue from here. Now, we can see that the mobile phone is automatically connected to the ticket, right? On the right side, we see some knowledges, right? So what we are trying to do, we are trying to encourage users. Let's take a look firstly at the knowledges. Then in the end, if nothing helps, contact the agents. So let's submit a ticket, probably like display is broken. What I actually can easily do, I can paste an image right here and submit the ticket. And that's it. The ticket has been raised from the end user perspective. And now let's switch the view, go to the agents and take a look how it looks from their side. All right, so this can be one of the default views, right, for the agents. This is custom. Again, there are different options how to display this. Firstly, I want to mention that we have a dashboard where you can see, what tickets exceeded the deadline, what's the deadline today, some tickets maybe with inactivity, and there is also a differentiation by the SLA category. And now if you are a manager, right, and you want to see overview from of your team, I can easily just change to manager's view right here. So let's go back and let's talk about what we see here. So first of all, we have different views, problems, changes, incidents. These views are fully customizable. You can create these views based on the filters. Like for anything you need, really. And you know, a lot of them are predefined, a lot of them you can customize. It's up to you. Now let's talk about that particular ticket. We can see the newly raised ticket right here. Now, when I click on it, right here we see the detail of that particular ticket. Now, there are some behind actions, you know, when I, for example, the ticket is in status new. If I self-assign it right here, it automatically changes to the in progress, right? This is defined by the workflow. Now, before I show you the workflow right here, there are some general actions that you can do. You can like add a note, right? And you can decide if the end user will see it or not. You can send a message to the end user, to the requester, right? You can immediately resolve it and so on. So now let's switch to the workflow tab. Here, this is the defined workflow for this service where the ticket is raised. There are some notes. Again, you can add your notes for your agents so they know what to do at this stage, right? How to continue in resolving the issue. At the top, there are of course some knowledges for specifically for the agents. Maybe there are some already known solutions to specific problems. So maybe there is answer in them. Now, lastly, there is the objects tab, and we can see the object actually that is linked right here. So when we raise the ticket for this particular object, it's automatically linked to that specific ticket. Now, let's talk about AI. For that, I will switch to incidents and select this particular ticket. Now, AI is here to assist you, whether it's getting more information, creating summarization, suggesting better solutions, and so on. Detection of problems and incidents. It's very practical, and we have actually collaborated with our customers to make it usable and useful as possible. To really cover the specific needs. For example, you are working on technical support and you get handed over a ticket that's 1 kilometer long, and in order to just like understand what's going on, you need to read through kilometers of text. With that, you can make some sensible summary with our AI assistant. Now, if it's a long ticket, it will be a paragraph. If it's a short ticket, it will be just a couple of sentences. You have with that, you have very good starting point for understanding what the ticket is all about. Now, another thing, you need to check whether the ticket is correctly categorized. Now, the AI assistant does that for you, and it will flag out any tickets that are not properly categorized. Then you have these moments when more people are working on a support team, and most of them are getting the similar phone calls, right? So the users, right, that are calling are reporting the same problem or similar. You would realize that there is something going on, and you have potentially an incident on your hands. You would have to go and start assessing the impact of the incident. What caused it, how to fix it, what's the root cause, and so on. In ALVAO, the AI assistant is searching to what's happening in your service desk, and it will detect if there are similar tickets being raised within a span of a couple of hours, and flag out that there is potentially an incident going on. Now, it will also score. It will score the incident based on the data you have in the CMDB aspect of the solution and help you diagnose it. It even flags out that configuration item that's responsible for it. You can see it right here. And when I select here a CMDB diagram, you can actually check the specific configuration right here. Now here we can see, the upstream, downstream relationship, how this server fits within the rest of the infrastructure. You can see that the health issue on this particular object, so down the line, or all these are affected. Now, I can also showcase, past incidents and changes, and this kind of gives you a very good start to quickly fix the major issue. Now let's go back to the assistant. And another thing, that could happen is you get a ticket and, you have some kind of error, some screenshot with an error, and you don't really understand it, some, complicated issue. So we will copy this particular message and paste it to the service desk application. Now you will hope that it will find some similar tickets that already dealt with the same or similar issue. So in this case, as you can see, the AI assistant does that for you again, and you can just search through the past occurrences. It flags out for you any tickets that you've already dealt with this or similar issue before, and so we can kind of learn from past successes, but also from the successes of your colleagues and predecessors. It helps to speed up the solution and also the learning curve of new employees. It can kind of also give you an insight into problems that occur frequently, and which may prompt you to check them as a precaution, or motivate you to address the original problem that's causing them. And the last thing that it does is this last section right here, and specifically focus on this section. It takes an advantage, this takes an advantage of the large data model and gives you some incentives in terms of how to deal with that issue and how to fix that problem. Instead of like Googling the solution into the problem, you have the first draft from the AI assistant, and that's powered by the Microsoft Copilot.
All right, thanks, Dan. Thanks for showing us that. But since you talked about CMDB, there are definitely some key challenges of asset management, right? The most notable would be a lack of single point of truth, managing life cycle from acquisition to disposal, or various issues with auditability. So actually having a huge Excel spreadsheet with all of your assets or tracking assets via Intune won't really cut it in the modern day era. So could you actually show us the asset management part of the ALVAO solution? And I mean the whole thing.
Yes, of course, David. Yeah, so in asset, we are trying to focus on this to show you the single source of truth, right? And to have an amazing overview of your assets with our tree structure. So this tree structure can be created, based on, for example, physical location like cities, floors, offices, what have you, right? In this example, we can see we have some departments, right? In the department, there are some rooms. In the room, there is located some specific assets, some devices, right? And in the room sits, for example, James, and he owns some particular asset. Same goes if we go to, sales department, AO3, we have Veronica here, and again, the devices that she owns. Now, with just a couple of clicks, I can see where Veronica is located in the tree structure. And if she submitted, right, she reported the problem for that particular mobile phone, I can just shoot her a message. I will stop by your office at 3 p.m. and pick up the phone. Now, for that particular device, I can easily see the hardware and software configuration, who is the supplier, when is the warranty expiration date, the serial number, and so on. There are, of course, some inherited properties that are inherited from the parent objects in the tree structure. Now you may wonder where these data come from. So devices are loaded from Intune. We have our native integration, and we can easily sync all your Intune devices and move them accordingly based on their primary user. Then ALVAO agent can be used to pull more detailed hardware configuration from your computers, and also the software that is installed on them. Also, we track information, how much is the software used and so on. Now, users, right, they will be imported from Enter ID. As I already mentioned, with their Enter ID account, they will be able to log in to ALVAO with the single sign-on. You can use mobile app to create new devices and some, of course, general methods. such as import from CSV files or create these objects manually or copy existing one. And I, of course, can't forget about integration on third-party application such as Zabbix and Landsweeper. Staying in with integration, when this particular mobile phone is imported right from Intune, there we can actually open the device in Intune straight from here. You can modify the device in Intune and it will automatically update in here in ALVAO. Same goes for the laptop because it's imported from Intune as well. We have the option right here. If you are using TeamViewer, we can start the connection straight from here and also open the, for example, the manufacturer support. Now, you may say, Daniel, this is really nice. The tree structure, I know where everything is located, but what if I want to have just an overview of my laptops that I have in the organization? That's really easy. Here I'm going to switch to the child objects tab, and we can see that under this laptop there are 3 additional devices. I switch to the computers view. There are some views that are predefined. And now if I select for example, the sales department, I can see that there are only 2 laptops in the sales department. If I select the whole organization, it again changes the scope. And now I see I have some laptops, desktops, servers, and so on. With this, I can easily create new filters. Filters in ALVAO work the same everywhere. For example, let's create a new view for users. I will select the type user, maybe display some specific columns. I don't want to see the warning, but I want to see the mail of those users. So with just a couple of clicks, I have created a new filter view, and if I save it, it will stay there till the future. Now, related tickets tab. So let's switch to that particular mobile phone. And here we can see all the past tickets that has been raised for this particular device, what happened to it, and straight from here, the device is in totally bad condition. I can, for example, raise a new ticket, to buy a new phone, or for just erase a new ticket straight from here.
All right, let me quickly jump in then. I just wanted to mention that the deployment of IT asset management is rapid and can be done in a span of days. And if you already have a trial of our solution up and running, there's actually no need for extra implementation costs, and the solution itself can be used almost instantly. That's from me. So back to you, Dan.
Yeah, so we are trying to get you in the trial, especially. And every time in the implementation, we are trying to get you running smoothly as fast as possible, right? And without automation, we can create tree structure automatically for you. So if you want to have the structure by the departments, right, we will take a look at the users, pull the departments from them and create it automatically for you, and then sort these users under that specific department. If you want to create the structure by cities, and you have the city filled for the users, it's possible. Now, same goes for devices, right? So when we pull them from Intune or other sources, if we have the user on it, we can automatically move it to the primary user. Now let's talk a bit about asset lifecycle. So somewhere here, I have prepared the user John Doe that we are going to use. And here in hardware store, ready to use, I have prepared a laptop. So, you have a new laptop in your company and you've prepared it, right? It's ready to use, it's on the hardware store. Now, we have a new employee, John Doe, right? We will take a look how it looks from the service desk perspective a bit later. But he needs to be assigned some particular asset. So I will just, drag and drop it, this laptop to John pretty easily. Just press OK, and the laptop has been moved to John. Now, we need some confirmation, right, from the user that he has received the asset. So here I can just easily, click print and press OK. It generates the protocol. I will just sign it, and that's it. We have the confirmation, from the end user that he has received that specific asset, and that's enough for us. Now, in the terms of asset lifecycle, the asset lifecycle will, the particular device will move from from users to hardware store. It will be wiped again, then it will be used by the users again. Now, in the end, right, when the device needs to be discarded, we can just easily, move it, for example, to the retired asset folder, and we can again create some specific folders now if the device was donated to charity, if it was discarded in a specific year, and so on. Now, for that particular device, I want to mention that we keep the whole audit trail. So everything, sorry, wrong tab, everything that happened to that particular device from the beginning of the object, we keep it here. Every modification, every ticket that has been raised, every move, everything. So it's logged right here. Now, lastly, I want to mention that asset management in ALVAO, can work as an independent solution, but it also really benefits from the native integration with our ALVAO service desk. There are, of course, some other integrations on other service desk solutions.
All right. Thanks for showing us the life cycle from the asset perspective, but agents still need to deal with this process systematically. So far, we've seen fairly simple to manage workflows, I'd say, and I'm sure our viewers would like to see something more complex. So could you explain how ALVAO supports the joiners, movers, leavers process, which is often a painful for organizations to manage?
Yes, of course, exactly as you say. So let's start with showcasing, the simplified joiners process as as an example of a more complex workflow. Now, when we say complex, it doesn't really mean, complicated. Why joiners process? Because we often hear from IT guys that they learn about the new employee on the last minute. And if something is not ready, that can be bad because we don't want to lose valuable points from the newcomer's first day experience. And not only that, it's not only IT that's involved. There is a lot of stakeholders with their tasks and processes and so on. In general, there is a huge potential for making it seamless and automated. So let me switch to the application and showcase you how it works. Okay. So let's go to the service catalog, and in human resources, we are going to find employee onboarding, right? So this is still a pretty simple form, but it has some like secret actions behind it. By the way, if you are using some HR system, we can connect the system to ALVAO via REST API. So this form will be hidden, but it will still trigger all the automated actions behind it. So here I will just fill in the form, the John Doe that we have operated before in the asset management. Now, if I select, the IT department, it automatically pre-checks some of the equipment that he needs. Select position, the manager, site. Maybe we want fixed period, so we need to select the number of months and submit the ticket. Now, what it does in background, it creates one master ticket and several linked tickets on it. So some of it is, preparation and training of the new user. Someone needs to prepare that specific device, and each of these tasks can be delegated to different users. From here, we have the pretty nice overview of what's going on and how everyone is doing. Here we can actually see a ticket, to create a new Entra ID account for that particular user. So let me show you what we can do with Power Automate. All right, so we have a certified Power Platform connector, and also, this particular flow. So whenever we have filled, the new employee form, subtask has been created, to create the Entra ID user, and on the creation of the ticket, it will trigger the Power Automate flow. And there are different flows, right, to create a user, to add the user to specific group, add a manager to that specific user, and so on. Now, in the end, right, the ticket will typically be auto-resolved, and auto-resolving the ticket can trigger other actions that are depending on the existing user. So all of this can be automated, and other automations can be built on top of that.
Right, thanks for that, Dan. But let me ask you this. How hard is this actually to set up? The whole thing, I mean. Could you perhaps show us what's under the hood, so to speak?
Yes, of course. So most of what you have seen today was actually, default setup, the best practice. And we aim for customers to be, self-sufficient in ALVAO administration. And that's actually what we are kind of praised from, that you don't start from scratch. We want you to have a fully usable application with standards, best practice, out of the box without the need to customize it. For example, the default ALVAO instance already includes some predefined services and all certified ITSM practices. So let me show that from the application. Oh, sorry. We need to go to the agents view, right? And here I'm going to go to the administration. Now only the users with the necessary permissions have access to it, right? And here we can find the necessary agendas, users, groups, to manage specific permissions to specific parts of ALVAO that are probably related only to asset management or service desk. Now the main section in the service desk is the service catalog defined here in the services, right? Now you have already seen the report issue in the for the mobile devices, or employee onboarding in the human resources, right? Now everything is within this structure, and for each entity we can set up some basic information, the workflows, modify the new ticket form, and set up who is the requester and who is the agent, right? Who will solve these tickets from the specific requesters. Now, when speaking about workflows, right, we will switch to processes right here. Here we have a list of an overview of all available processes. Again, we can create new processes or modify the existing one. For example, let me show you a normal change. Here I will select the workflow, and if I switch to the list, this is actually what we call the happy path, but there might be some stages that will not be triggered every time. And you can also, as you've seen at the beginning, you can also visualize it, and it can be configured straight from here as well. Now, all of this is the out-of-box solution, the configuration, right? But there is a huge customization built on top of that. When we were talking about the onboarding, right, the joiners process, there were some customization on Power Platform connector. You can use our REST API, to connect your third-party application, use Azure OpenAI or ALVAO custom apps.
Okay, thanks, Dan. But let's take it from the perspective of the leadership, because the high management obviously needs to see some reports. So what tools do they actually have in ALVAO so they can see reports and in turn improve the operational efficiency in their organizations?
Yeah, so I've already said that in the asset management, that we are aiming to be the single source of truth, right? Single point of truth, and you take different sources and you put them into ALVAO. It's only logical that we are responsible for it, right? We are helping you to drive your decisions and be better in managing, costs, risks, resources, etc. Now, let me show you a few examples. Us being Microsoft oriented, it's not a surprise that we have ALVAO Power BI template. We have published official Power BI template with predefined data and visuals, and you can just connect to your ALVAO instance and try it. You are, of course, free to create your own reports or modify the existing ones if you are looking, for something that's more custom. So let's start with the service desk reports. Now, this could be like an overview of what's happening within the service desk, what services are being used, success of SLAs, like whether the SLAs are being met for the first response and the resolution date, and what are, of course, the trends in time, or, break it down by the solver team. Let's continue. When we go a little bit deeper into the hard metrics, right? Of the time that is being, we have time that is being measured automatically, right? For the SLAs, and we can see, how successful we are regarding the first response and the resolution. Also, like who is responsible and most successful, and we can of course always drill down and analyze the specific incident and SLA. Now, SLAs, it's like hard topic, no one really likes them. And we have, of course, to balance different metrics together, right? In this case of satisfaction feedback, we can say that it's a soft metric, right? We can showcase like what's the response rate of the users, what's the satisfaction rate. We can actually see the, the trends in time that we have improved over the last months. And it's important to mix these metrics because, what we can see here at the bottom right corner, we have the green column that shows the SLAs that pass the deadline, but they only have 91% satisfaction rate. So even though you are doing fine on the hard metric, on the soft, it's not that great, right? This effect is known as the watermelon SLA, as you definitely know. Now, on the other hand, for the SLAs that have breached the deadline, right, the red column here, you still have 70% satisfaction, which in reality is still pretty good, right? It's not that bad, because when you analyze it, you go deeper, right? Sometimes it's not about the time, but the overall experience. Now, what about hardware and assets? Of course, it's here with, reporting on assets can help you create a plan for the next period. How many devices need to be removed, plan the next budget, and so on. So here we have the overall report for assets, that shows key metrics such as manufacturer, warranty expiration, asset type. With the warranty expiration, there is actually small suggestion. We have in ALVAO ready-to-use notifications on approaching warranty expiration, and some of our customers went actually a step further, and they have proactive notification set up directly to the end users, right? So whenever the expired warranty reaches, let's say 30 days, right? You will send them a notification. Listen, you have 30 days. Is there some kind of problem with a specific device? Now is the time to come forward. So really motivate the end users or the owners, right, of the assets. Now, there are, of course, some different reports in the Power BI template that you can use. Other examples can be hardware, software, discovery reports, CMDB analysis, contract management. On the right side, when we are analyzing link tickets records to the assets, we can show the faulty devices, faulty assets, and you can preemptively, for example, fix them or change the company standards if you want. And lastly, M365 optimization report, that helps you optimize your Microsoft license budget. So you know where you are overspending, and maybe you can downgrade licenses for some users or completely remove them. It's up to you. So that was from me. That's all from me. And I'm giving my word back to David.
Thank you very much, Dan, for showing us the full demo of ALVAO ITSM and IT asset management. And now I think we can go straight to the questions. So let me just see. It seems there are. And it seems like they've all been answered, but I will just read them out with the answers for the sake of the recording. So please tell a bit more about deployment rollout, how it looks like, and what is required for SMB. And the answer is the implementation is really straightforward, and it is a matter of days and weeks. Our aim is that the customer is self-reliant, and we are praised for simple administration. We've had customers that went live during the trial period. For example, your asset tree will be auto-generated based on your entry ID and Intune data almost instantly. Next question would be, what other integrations are available? For example, Certero, VMware, Workspace ONE, OEM, and PRTG. We have integrations with various tools, either native integrations or certified Power Automate flows, such as integrations with PRTG, Zabbix, Nagios, etc. To receive real-time alerts and evaluate the context, for integrations we don't yet have, we aim to provide a quick first interaction if it aligns with the customer's needs and our roadmap. And there's an additional answer. There might be actually an overlap with Zotero because we support software asset management as well, and some of our biggest customers use ALVAO specifically for that. The next question would be, are you more IT asset management or CMDB tool? Actually, we are both. We are certified both for the IT asset management and service configuration management practices. And last question I can see is, you presented the Power Automate flow, to create a new joiner in Entra ID. Can you automate password resets and other use cases? The answer is absolutely. Another example could be password reset, or when someone leaves for a business trip abroad, we automate the VPN exemptions so that they can connect and continue working from there. This can be any automation you can imagine. Our task is to ensure the automation has everything it needs, for example, using a form with mandatory fields. And we actually try to keep it simple and practical, and it needs to make sense for the customer to standardize and automate a specific use case. At the end, it's always a mix of people, processes, and technology, not just the tool set. Looks like it was the last questions. So thanks everyone for joining today's webinar. We hope it provided you with some valuable insights and thoughts. And if you'd like to see more, you can always contact me or Dan. We also have a YouTube channel with great overview videos, or you can visit our website and ask for a custom tailored demo along with the pricing by one of our colleagues. So that's actually it from me and Dan, and we hope to see you again during some other webinars, which you can check out on our website or in person at some upcoming events. And that's really it. So thank you and have a great day. Back to you, David.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, David, for hosting that session. Thank you to everyone for putting those questions into the Q&A. There's some really good stuff coming through there. And like David said, the team are happy to follow up with you with more detailed demo, answer any questions, anything you need. We can put you all in touch together after this demo. So thank you very much. I hope everyone has a good lunch, and we'll see you this afternoon. And there's 2 more demos. If you'd like to join those, head to our website. Thanks, everyone. Take care.